All right. How's everyone doing out there? Hey, welcome to another episode of Full Kit No Plan, where, as you guys know, I'm Aldo. You guys know Jesse on the other side. Jesse, say what's up to everybody.
Hey, what's going on, guys? How you doing? Welcome back.
Hey, and today, our guest is Ariel Garcia, owner of APA Tacos Estrella. Ariel, would you do us a favor and introduce yourself?
Hello, everyone. My name's Ariel. I own APA Tacos Estrella. We've been established since 2016. Yeah, we have the greatest tacos in Arizona.
All right. Hey, you know what? Hey,
Hell yeah.
Jesse, go ahead. Hey, you had some questions, Jesse, because I told him they're delicious tacos, man. They're off the chain. Because Jesse was over here salivating just off of your handle on IG. What were you
Yeah.
thinking, Jesse, when you were scrolling through that?
I was scrolling through the whole thing, man. They look fucking delicious. I'm gonna be honest with you, bro. They look amazing. And I was curious because when I was looking through it all, it looked like you run a food truck and you do catering. Is that correct?
So, okay, so we do catering. We strictly do catering. We do pop-ups though. We do pop-ups. From time to time, depending on the venue, we will rent. We do rent out a either a food truck or a food trailer, depending on the venues.
Hey, I
But
got a question.
for the most part, I like to cook on site. So, you can't you don't get the full experience if you don't get it fresh off the grill.
Now, is that just based on the food alone, or is there the service? I mean, it's got to be the service that offers that 100% as well, too, right?
Well, absolutely, absolutely. You can't have great food without great customer service,
That's
and
right.
I've always been a foodie, and I've always been big on service. So, I don't like when people don't treat you right when you go out to eat. Because one, you want to sit down and have a good time with the family, and two, you wanna always be able to leave them a good tip because you know that they're doing their hard they're doing a hard job. But when they're assholes, yeah, you just don't want to do nothing.
Right, right, yeah. And I mean, man, I'm a fellow foodie. I love the different foods. I like pairings. I like all of it, man. And it's like there's so much more to it. It's an experience, right? Like the whole thing is absolutely an experience. Walking through, I mean, especially when you start talking about like different cultural foods, it's like it's just a full-on experience. What
Yeah,
do you think?
yeah, absolutely. Just you know when you get to talking about food, or you get to just throwing stuff together with someone else who's a foodie and whatnot, it's an awesome thing, bro. It's an awesome experience. You get to realize where other people come from, other cultures. It's always a good thing.
Yeah, there's a history behind the whole thing.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So, I got a question, right? Talking about that in our culture, right? The Hispanic culture, you greet people with food, right? That's how you know. Hey, you're welcome. We want to take care of you. I want to make sure that you're feeling good, right? But tell us a little bit about the person. Tell us about Ariel. Who is Ariel? A little bit of where you come from. Yeah, give us a little bit of that background.
Man, okay, so I come from Los Angeles, one of the biggest places with flavor. I grew up I grew up in the hood. I grew up in South Central LA. Early on, my parents took us out and moved us to the San Fernando Valley, where I lived out the rest of my years. And that's where I got started in 2016. After going to the military in '95, fresh out of high school at 17. But yeah, it's been, this is what you get. You see me right now. You see me if you meet me, in person. It is what it is. It is what it is, and it ain't what it was. Back in the days, I used to do things that obviously we're not too happy about, but it's made me who I am, and I just come with the real.
So about that, I want to touch a little bit. So as I've been speaking personally, um, recently, and tomorrow there's going to be an event that I'm co-sponsoring, right, where I'm going to be given given the opportunity to speak for a little bit. And part of my story is about how I got to where I got to, right, and it didn't come without challenges, without personal experiences. Again, to your point, right, where perhaps I wasn't too proud of it, right, and on one of them I talk about and I make light of it, right, is do you remember where you were at when you were 21, right? How did you party? How hard did you party? How crazy did you get? Because my ass was behind bars. So, I didn't get to party. So, tell us about a little bit about that, because again, this is all about success, right? So, what made Ariel become the successful person today, right? What kind of challenges did you and opportunities, really, right? Even if you didn't see it that way, but how did you get to this? Because we're trying to make sure that we give others out there, other fellow veterans, the opportunity to see the light, to understand that, hey, doesn't matter what happened yesterday, right? You're not yesterday. That's not who you are. You're that next version. That next version of who you are is fucking, you already lived it. It's fucking waiting for you to tap back into who you are, right? So tell us a little bit about that.
Oh man, bro, 21. Dude, I'm right there with you. I was actually incarcerated at 21, bro. I was sitting in the county jail. I had my baby. I had two kids already. 21, yeah. So the first one was already 5, and I just had my second. So that's Jessica and Destiny, which are the oldest to the youngest. And then man, I was dude. Decisions are decisions. Like I said, man, I was selling dope. I was doing everything I could just to stay alive and to put food on the table. A lot of people don't know a lot about me because we're old school. We keep our stuff out of Snapchat and shit.
Yeah,
These young bucks. That's how they get caught, bro. No, but yeah, I did. I unfortunately I did a lot of time. I did a few years back then, and I lost a lot of time with my kids. A lot of time that I'm not proud of. But I'm gonna tell you right now. I've been blessed with having my kids. My older two live here in Arizona, so I get to see them from time to time now. I get to spend. Not as much as I would like to, but it's quality time regardless of the fact. Quality time that I missed out on back then, bro. I didn't watch them grow up because I was too busy writing them letters from prison, sending them them little drawings and shit that we did, But hey, it is what it is. I grew up. All those things made me who I am, bro. Do I regret any of those things that I did? Honestly, I can't say that I do, bro, because I wouldn't be who I am. I wouldn't be as persistent as dedicated to this business as I am if it weren't for all those things. I think any little change. One, I wouldn't have my kids, bro, and that's definitely nothing I want to give up. But yeah, again, what else can I say, bro? I grew up in the mix. I grew up in the mix. We gotta do our thing. I was busy partying, like you said. But yeah.
And here you are today, slanging them delicious ass tacos people can't get enough of. So
Yeah.
that's
Hey,
what's up.
hey.
That's
Yeah, exactly. Now, I get to slang other shit. I get to slang them tacos de asada, left and right, bro.
that's what's up.
Yeah.
That's what's up, man. I bet they keep coming back too.
Oh man, I'm telling you, once you try my tacos, you don't want to go nowhere else.
That's what's up. And
Hey,
so,
so yeah, go ahead.
go ahead.
Jesse.
No,
Take
go
it
ahead,
from there.
Aldo. I was just curious, how do you go from there to here? Because that seems quite a treacherous path.
Bro, it's not easy. I'll tell you that much. It's not easy going from one spectrum to the other. But
Man.
especially because it did take a lot. It took a lot of downs to see the ups. The reason why I started APA Tacos Estrella was, I had that downfall where I got injured at work. Went through 4 years of hell. 4 years of hell that I didn't really believe men could go through that type of stuff. Um, I didn't believe in addiction. I didn't believe in depression. I didn't believe in any of those things because I grew up with, my dad's a man's man. You don't talk about feelings. You don't talk about nothing. You just do what you got to do and support your family. You're a provider and that's all you do. You don't talk about nothing else. So those 4 years were hell, dude. I got to the point. It got to the point where I had to tell my baby that I couldn't feed her one day, and that's one of the worst things I could ever have gone through, or any man for that matter. Because we're not made that way. But not being able to get up, go to work, um, provide, dude. Just provide. It was hard. I learned what depression was. I learned what it was to be alone and not have anyone else there for you. But like I said, those things got me through, man. Those. If it was, you know what, I gotta say this. If it wasn't for those moments, I wouldn't got through. I wouldn't have been able to get through the kidnapping that they did on me. You know, when I did start, once I started the business, it was like maybe I started in June of 16, and in September they straight came and picked me up at home, bro. Just cause I was slanging tacos, so and
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 who is they?
so back in LA, bro, back in LA, you got the homies. The homies are, it's their house. They run it. They run the streets out there, and a lot of times they go and tax certain people for certain things, and I have nothing bad to say about them. They do what they gotta do. They've got orders, and hey, that's fine. But there's a lot of things that people don't know that for me, I grew up as a paisa. I'm a paisa straight up. So being in prison, I was a paisa, and what people don't understand is that you don't do that to your own people. You don't do it to your own people because you never know whose family member that might be, and you might get upstate, and one of those big homies, it was their dad or it was their uncle or whatever the case may be, and it's gonna come down on them. So I pray for all those guys. I pray for all of them. But yeah, a few gang members, they came at me asking for money, for me to pay them for being on that corner. And, I'm a cocky motherfucker. I'm a cocky motherfucker and I don't give a shit, bro. And I was like, nah, you ain't getting nothing from me. You got the wrong paisa. And so they didn't take it lightly. And they came through to my house on a Tuesday morning, bro, 10:30 a.m. And yeah, it was tough, bro. It was tough having to open the door, and having a revolver in your face is not easy.
Wow. That is an amazing story. And so it all came down to basically just real estate taxes.
Yeah, basically.
Wow. That's unbelievable.
I love how you
Yeah,
navigated through
but
that one, Jesse. That world is crazy. To Ariel's point, you don't really talk about it, right? But the way you worded that is,
right.
is beautiful. Real estate
Yeah,
taxes, and
man, you gotta
yeah,
understand, I'm from the middle of the woods in Maine, bro. I mean, I'm learning, for sure. And that's right. Like I'm so intrigued. This is so interesting to me.
No, but that's actually really good. And like I said, you know what? I have nothing bad to say about, because I got homies. I got big homies that I know. I did a lot of time with the homies, and we've all looked out for each other behind them walls. So, I know what they do, and I ain't mad at them. I just, like I said, I pray for them, and I pray that they know what they're doing. When these youngsters try to do things that just ain't right. It's not about that
so
stuff. because the big homies have a different idea of what it looks like.
So I got a question that kind of to touch on that, right? And you mentioned homies or you know I guess in that realm, in that world, when you cross over to like the civilian world, right? Kind of even military, right? You leave the military because it's a certain world, it's a certain culture. Going to the civilian world, what who do you lean on today? Who have you leaned on to grow this APA Tacos Estrella business? You know, do you got any mentors, any communities, work networks that keep you grounded and growing, right? You mentioned in that world, right? Those are the homies, but in this world, right? Because it's different worlds. Um, is there any professionals? Is there any military folks? Is there any, you know, can you? Is there anything like that that you can say, hey, you know what? These are the people
Oh no,
that
yeah,
that
definitely. I lean
that
on
that
a
guide
few
me.
different circles. You know, first off, I've got a couple mentors. Like one of the first people that I reached out to when I started Apatacos Estrella was my pastor. You know, Pastor Kirby, Glenn Kirby. If you're out there and you're watching this, hey, what's up? That's my man. That's my dad. That's like my other pops right there. Um, I remember when I started and I wanted to do things a little under the radar, we could say. You know, I didn't think, you know, going to get a license, going to get permits was the right way to go at that moment, you know, because I figured I could write it out before really have to, you know, make some money and whatnot. But I remember his words very clearly. You know, I went to him and I told him my ideas, and he was like, you know what? The only thing I'm gonna say to you is that God blesses those who do things right. And
Amen.
right there, he just knocked me on my butt, and I was done. I was like, "Oh shit, okay." Next day, I was at the licensing department getting my licenses and everything, you know. And even though it's been a hard trip, it's been good. God has blessed me very much. But other than that, yeah, I've got a few other people. You know, I've met some great pastors here that are looking out for me too. That I can call up on. Um, you know, the Brotherhood, Brand X, Travis Brady, Dom. They're great people, man. I've been calling them on them for a lot of things lately too. You know, trying to grow the business, trying to brand myself. And now lately I've been looking at Aldo, you know, my boy Aldo right here. Man, appreciate that guy cuz he brings it real too, you know, and that's what people like us need. We need real. Cuz real sees real. Game sees game, and we don't fuck around with nothing else.
Hell yeah, man. He's a great guy. That's for sure. That's for sure. Humble.
Yeah, we all
Humble.
we all
Ain't that
need
right?
we all need a good support system, right? And again, that's why when Jesse and I, you know, we linked up. Um, it was like magic, bro. It's hard to explain, man, but it was just like this same like wavelength. We had the same vision about how to be there to support one another, and then it just started growing, man. It caught fire. Why? Because it all grows from gratitude. It all grows from like wanting to be there for someone else, right? Not having any expectations, not wanting to, expect anything
Right.
from anyone, right? Just genuinely, what can we do for others, right? And here we are, interviewing Apatacos, right, Jesse? Which, how do you see that? How
Yeah,
do you see that
absolutely,
growth,
man.
man?
Uh, Dude, I just want to go back a little bit more if we can. So, because where did we go from? It was a jail or prison. I don't want to misspeak.
For who?
For you.
Oh, prison.
Okay. 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 No, cool. Because where does the military fit in all this?
So the military. So I was young. I was 17. You know, when I left, I already had a daughter. I already had my first. And dude, I was the only Mexican and the only one from the West Coast in Kentucky. I was in Fort Knox doing my boot camp. So you could just imagine what that was like.
Yeah, yeah.
But you know, again, drill sergeants were awesome. They rode me all the whole time I was there. Um, but it was great, you know. After that, I went to what is that up in Aberdeen, up in oh man, what is that? Fort Aberdeen. I think it's in Maine, right? Is it in Maine or is it up in?
I don't think it's in Maine. Honestly, I'm going to be 100% honest with you. I've never heard of Fort Aberdeen, so I'm not sure.
I think Aberdeen
No, it's
is
not
in
Maine. I'm sorry.
Maine, or it could be Vermont.
Really?
Vermont.
It no, it's not Vermont. I think
It's
it is
not.
in
Who's
Maine.
out there that
Cause
can
we
help us out?
literally were man. But anyway, so I went there.
We gonna have to check right now.
And, yeah, check that out while I keep trying to.
Maryland. Aberdeen is
Mary,
in
there you
Maryland.
go. It's in
Yep.
Maryland. I'm sorry, it's in
Yep.
Maryland. I knew it was an M.
Okay.
um, so
So,
I went. I was in in Maine. Oh shit! There I go again. Up in Aberdeen, and it was right when we get there. I get pulled out and they make me platoon leader. Just because I was like on it, I didn't give a shit. You're gonna make me do push-ups? Let's go. Let's do this shit all day. And but but then then I had to talk some of my guys down from suicide, bro. And I think that shit really fucked me up. And so when it was time to go get stationed, actually, when it was time to go get stationed, we were going to Korea. Mind you, again, I just turned 18. I got a little 3-year old, and I'm like, nah, fuck this. And so I did the first thing that I knew to do was to run, bro. I ran, um, I left. I did my little bit of time, my 3 months, became a deserter, and then I turned around and went back. I went back, turned myself in, and I got an honorable discharge regardless of the fact. But
oh wow.
but it was having to talk these guys down, like these dude, we were young, bro. We were all young, and having to talk them down from suicide was really fucked up for me. And then you hear about things that go down in the military and how other people just different shit goes down and isn't correct in our eyes. But regardless of the fact, that's where I got the discipline. That's where I got the courage to stand up to whatever came in front of me. I can't tell you that I did. I can't tell you that I went and did any tours. All my tours were up in jail and in prison, bro. It's a whole different story. But like Aldo said, either one of them, you come out with a different respect level. It's a totally different respect level, and civilians don't understand that. No matter how long it's been for me, out of both the military and prison, I still carry myself in a different manner compared to other people. People that have never been to those places, and it's. Some days it's hard. Some days it's still hard to not want to knock one of these motherfuckers out.
Yeah, certainly. But that's the discipline, right? That's part of the discipline that we learn.
Yeah.
Um, so you get out of the military, and then from there you fall into all the other stuff,
I
and
start I
then
start I start selling dope, bro. I start selling
yep.
dope, and then I realized that the people I was working with weren't really there for me, so I cut out and I went on my own and
In the same
shit.
industry.
Oh yeah.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah, pharmaceuticals.
Yep. Certainly. And then what's the thing that happens to you where you say, okay, this is I can't keep doing this. It's not sustainable. Um, let's start making something where we can give back to the community, make a life for ourselves. Where's that um, click for you where it all
Well,
changes?
for me it was when I got busted and they took all the weight. They took my freedom, obviously. All the money that I had went straight for attorneys and bail, whatever. And you realize you're right back at zero. you're right back at zero. And what do? You know, most of us, we go right back to doing what we know how to do best. And don't get me wrong, having to start all over and start at $7 an hour in 2005 was hell. It was hell. You know, my little 40-hour check was fucking miserable. I think I got like $100, $100 and something dollars after taxes, and it was just fucking brutal. You know, after being, you know, I wasn't like fucking rich and shit, but you know, I was doing good. I had money to throw, and it was, and when you don't have that no more, it's like fuck. Um, but but at the same time, losing all that time with my girls, it wasn't worth it. It wasn't worth it no more. You know, I still went back to jail a few more times. I was there. The last time I went to jail was in 2009, and my youngest, Estrella, actually, was 2 weeks old, and I got picked up because we were walking around the corner from the parking lot to the apartment, and I put my hand in the baby mama's hair, and they were driving by, bro. The cops were driving by, and all they saw was me put my hand on, you know, to them it looked like I grabbed her, and dude, they don't ask questions. They just came up, rolled me up, and saw that I had priors, and it's a wrap. I got put in for domestic violence that time, and having to be away from my daughter that young was tough, bro. Like, I remember having the opportunity once in the little bit I did 3 months that time, and in those 3 months, right at the end, they allowed me to have my daughter inside the visit with me, though. Like, they let her in, I could hold her and everything, and it sucked. It sucked. I didn't want to have to do that shit ever again.
Yep.
But
Yep. I hear that.
that's not something that you know, anyone, right, in any way, shape, or form, right, not just prison, but in any situation where you feel like, you know, you need to give them the most, right, you need to give them the best, whatever that is, but definitely not a circumstance or situation like that. And so it looks like that was when there was some reflection, right? There was some reflection, there was some introspect, you know, and you
That
looked
was
at
when I
it.
decided, no, you know what? I just can't do this shit no more. I don't. I don't want to have to. I don't want to have her experience that ever again.
And that's the turning point, would you say, where blood, sweat, and tears
That
after
was
that,
it.
no matter what, it was all up from there, right?
Oh yeah, yeah. It was. We have to move forward, and we got to do whatever it takes. So at that time, I was in printing. Well, I was in printing, and I remember I was at the bottom. You know, I was at the bottom of the totem pole, and I said, "Fuck this! I can't be down here for too long. I gotta move on up, and I want that guy's position."
So, real quick
Yeah.
before you give us a little bit more on that, what do you mean by printing? You know, for some of us that don't really fully understand, or some of our viewers.
So I got into offset printing. A cousin of mine actually gave me um, called me up one day and asked me to if I was still looking for a job, and I was like, yeah. So I went over to. I was living in the valley at that time, and he worked in Chatsworth, you know, porn capital of the world, and that's exactly what they were printing, nothing but porn. So I was like, okay, let's go, and that's where I got started. I got started in printing. So we would print a bunch of DVD covers, um, boxes for, you know, whatever dildos and stuff like that.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah,
For
yeah,
like like
it was a
packaging.
trip.
For like packaging and things?
Yeah, yeah,
Got
like
it. Got it. Okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah. So it was funny because, you know, there's always those ladies that work in, you know, they're the ones boxing everything up at the end, and you're just watching them the way they. It's just so funny, man, having to work with the adult content and it's just like all kinds of stuff that you see. It's just funny. It was funny. It was fun.
So and you've been doing printing for a while. Is that something that you maintain throughout the most recent past? Tell us a little bit how that
Yeah, printing has got me pretty much everything that I've got, bro. I bought this house because of printing. Um, I was blessed to actually. I left California in 2021 to come out here to Arizona, on an opportunity where they did, some company called me up and asked me if I wanted to go come work over here, and they pay me my California wages, and I was like, shit, let's go.
took that opportunity, right? Didn't sleep on it, and
Oh
you know,
no, there was
a lot of times
right
people
then and
get
there.
comfortable, right? We get comfortable not wanting to get out of that what feels good, right? I mean, you regardless of your past history and the challenges in the past, right? You were able to take an opportunity like that and make the most of it. I mean, you just mentioned you know that opportunity gave you the chance to purchase this home that you live in. So, you know, and taking that big step, right? Did you have to move your family from there? Like, how was that feeling? How was that, you know, process for you and the people that you support and that you protect and provide, right? Like how was that emotionally? How was that? Was there anything that you can say, you know, based on your past? Was there anything that you can say that perhaps, you know, something instilled within the military that helped you get push through that tough decision? Because a lot of people are not willing to leave 14 miles past their place where they grew up. You know, that's a hard statistic. 80% of the United States, people that live in this, that are born in a certain place, do not move past 14 miles. That's a fact. You guys want to go check it out, go check it out. But that's a fact, and that's crazy. So, you know, outside of all those challenges that you experienced, you know, how were you able to like galvanize, get your family, talk to them, and say, hey, believe in me, I got you. This is what we're gonna do. Because I mean, obviously, it was the right move for you, right?
Man, okay, so at the time I was married. I was married to my second wife, not Estrella's mom, a different female. We were married and we were going through turmoil. You know, we just weren't okay, and I had to make that choice. It was either continue living in turmoil or take advantage of this opportunity that was being given to me, and maybe do something better for not only for myself but for that wife, you know, that I had, and for my kids and her kids. So I had to make that choice, and it was either she was coming with me or she ain't. You know, you're either gonna put your shoes on and run with me, or you're gonna get left behind, because I ain't dragging nobody along. And then with my kids, with Estrella, it was tough. It was tough, but I sat her down, and you know, she saw a lot of the turmoil going on. So I asked, you know, I had to sit her down and ask her like a grown up, like, hey, what do you think? You know, will you be okay if I leave? You know, are you gonna be all right if I leave? And she was like, yeah, Dad, go, do what you gotta do. Go. I can come visit you every time you have me go over there, or you can come visit me. And when she said that, bro, I was like, fuck it, it's on. So I left. I figured, you know what? If I spent so much time in jail away from my kids for stupid shit, I can go away right now for something, for a better future for us. So why not?
That's a big move.
Yeah, man, that's powerful. That takes a lot to believe in yourself that much, and to, like Aldo said, to move, to get up and actually take that thought and turn it into action. And it seems like it's working out for you pretty good, my man.
Well, you know, God is good. God is good,
Amen.
and like I said, God's blessed me with. I'm here by myself. I've still been here by myself. I got the house, and yeah, you know it. I just I decided just not too long ago. Aldo knows. I just decided not too long ago to just take that leap of faith again, and just I quit my job at the print shop over here, and I'm going all in. I'm going all in, and God willing, it's not gonna be a wrong choice again.
Good for
Hey,
you,
and,
my
and,
man.
and
I love
talking
hearing
about
that.
that, like, what inspired you to step into that, like, to make that decision? Because that's bold, right? So you've made, in a span of less than 5 years, you've made some pretty bold choices and really impactful moves, right? Like, how do you go from that, and now here you're, just a few weeks in, you're on this path that you're carving for yourself, right? And you see it because you believe it, right? You wouldn't have made that choice, but like, how did you get to that? Can you share a little bit? Are you willing to
Tired,
share
bro.
about?
Tired. I'm tired. Tired of having to get up every day. I was just tired of having to go to work. Not because of the work itself, but it was tiring to go to work and then have to still deal with a 20-hour day that to prep and to make sure things come out right and feeling like I'm putting in so much work and yet I still gotta pull out of my pocket to pay my people. It just wasn't right, bro. Something was not right. And so I figured I'm either gonna let the business go and just keep on, doing what I do at the print shop and retiring from there at some point and and see what happens or fuck it. Pray and ask God if this is the right choice and well not really if it's the right choice. Just asking him to bless the choice that I'm making because like most people will leave their job once they've got 6 months of bills ready, for whatever may happen, you got that little cushion. Not me. I'm that I'm that motherfucker that just does shit just because I gotta do it now. And um, so I just did it. I said, "Fuck it." You know what? Uh, the business is gonna have to take care of me, and it's gonna have to take care of me now. And if I don't do it now, I ain't never gonna do it. So might as well let's go.
There's something powerful about that, about jumping off the cliff and learning how to fly on the way down, and it sounds like that's what you're right in the middle of right now. And man, it's fucking inspiring, I'll tell you that. It's really inspiring and interesting to listen to your story. And another thing that I've noticed is when you're talking a lot about the ups and downs, particularly the downs, you seem to have a really good outlook on it, a really good positive, attitude towards everything that's happened, lessons learned, how to apply them to the present and future. And I wonder how how did you come to such a mindset to be able to help you evolve like
It's not easy, that's for sure.
that?
Not fucking easy.
For
When
sure.
growing up, being the black sheep, I think I can honestly say I'm like the only one in the family that's been arrested, who's done the amount of time that I've done. So it's tough. It's tough, but you know what? The reason why I look at it that way, it's you can't go further. You cannot keep digging further than you already dug your own hole in, bro. Um, and so you have to you have to be able to understand that if it wasn't for my own choices, I wouldn't have been in the places where I've been at. So there's really no one else I could blame but myself. But at the same time, there's no one else that I could congratulate but myself for getting through those things. So
Hell
that's
yeah,
what
man.
we have to understand. We have to learn to accept the fact that we sow a lot of bad shit in our lives. For me, especially myself, I've sowed so much bad shit. I'm reaping shit still. But the thing with that is that the minute you start doing things right and you start doing, planting those good seeds, yeah, it takes a minute before you see the blessings. And the blessings may look small to you, but they're not. They're actually big steps, big successes. Um, but one thing I know for sure is that the bigger the dream, the bigger the success, bro. So so all I know is that one day one day soon, I'm gonna be in every airport across from fucking McDonald's selling my fucking tacos.
Hell yeah. So is that man, that's fucking awesome. Good for you, bro. I can't wait to see it, to be honest with you. I really can't. And so is that kind of the goal moving forward and maybe even the ultimate goal is is it a franchise that you want to get into?
The ultimate goal is, yeah, it's the franchise, but I don't want a franchise like these big companies, you know. I don't want to have to have people pull out 50 grand just to try to get involved in something that they could own. I want to be that guy that yeah, of course we're all gonna make money, but I want to be that guy that'll be that stepping stone for those of us who need that help, that support system, because that's what we need.
Oh yeah. So bringing more opportunities to more people.
Obviously, yeah.
Yes, yes, I love that. Did you have something, Aldo?
Now, do you have any? Yeah, is there anything else that you've been working on? Any passion projects? Anything that you help support? Um, any collaborations? Anything else you do? That our viewers should be aware of, or
So
anything that you're looking to start? I mean,
yes, so I've been working, because of all the things that I've experienced. I've been putting together. I've been working on a new company, um, and people have to keep their eyes open for it because it's big, it's big, and it's only gonna get bigger. It's called Forward, and what that means is that we're gonna help people move forward in life. We're gonna have people stop looking so much at the back at the past, um as a bad thing. You got to look at it like it's a good thing. God allowed you to get through all of those bad things to put you where you need to be now, for you to be able to move forward. So I'm actually collaborating with a few different organizations and a few entrepreneurs to get this really going and growing. It's it's gonna be providing work for people who need work, training. It's a profitable company, so we're not asking. No one's gonna be given a handout. Everybody's gonna learn how to reset their mind, how to regain purpose in their life. Because I think that's what everybody's missing nowadays.
okay,
Yeah, definitely.
okay.
Purpose, connection, union, things like that are definitely scarce, to say the least, these days. So that's great. That's great that you're opening up and providing this stepping stone to allow a lot of people opportunities.
So you said it's named. It's gonna be called Forward. Is that the name of the
Yeah, it's gonna be Forward. Um, it's called Forward. It's just moving people in the right direction.
And do you have a timeline for when this is going to be launching? Just to give, kind of give some insight. Maybe, we
Um,
come back.
I do. Yeah. I'm hoping that within the next 6 months we'll be able to launch it. Actually open up and put it out to the public. And get the ball really going. We're gonna be doing a lot of things with veterans, a lot of things with people that have been incarcerated, people coming out of disabilities, homelessness. Our baby boomers who are lacking funds. I'm trying to help everybody out, and I believe that this is what's gonna do it, and this is what's gonna put this is gonna bring us all back, man.
Okay, so is like you got like a mission statement? So what I'm getting here, right? It looks like you're trying to help. You mentioned the veteran community. You mentioned the less resourceful or less fortunate or just people that have been impacted just based on poor decisions potentially in the past, right? To try to get their life back together. So you're just trying to help them link up and get back in alignment and get their footing underneath themselves. And you're trying to put them in touch with organizations that need people. So you're trying to see if you can build some kind of education, some kind of training, and connect those dots.
Yeah, so we're basically gonna be that we're gonna be like the middleman between these nonprofits that are helping all of our, you know, all those different types of people that need help, plus, you know, middlemen between the VA and jobs. Basically, we're gonna be providing training for everyone, to learn a trade. You know, this country was built on trade. You know, on business, on small businesses, and those skills have been lost. I believe that if we don't do something now, America is gonna be pretty lost. You know, our next generations, you know, our kids and their kids ain't doing nothing but being on them phones, and we gotta teach these. I've seen so many kids that don't know how to change the tire.
Yeah.
They're trying to Google that shit on the
Yeah.
side of the freeway, and that boy better not be with one of my kids, cause where I'll pull over and I'll kick his ass before I help him.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah,
That's
so we're, you know, go ahead.
no, no. So I was
You were
gonna, I was
saying,
gonna
Aldo?
ask Jesse, how do you see it in your region? I know here Ariel and myself here we're in the Phoenix area, right? And me with my background in construction, I can definitely say what you're looking to build and looking to create, Ariel, is something that's it's beyond needed, right? And there's a lot of organizations out there trying to do the best they can, right, to kind of meet that gap and fill that gap because you know a lot of the workforce is about to retire. I mean, we're talking about I believe it's about 4 to 6 years where the majority of the skilled, experienced labor force is on its way out. Yeah, everyone wants to be a TikToker, everyone wants to be a gamer, everyone wants to be a YouTuber, but you're right. I mean, they can't change a freaking tire to save their life. Much less swing a hammer, much less use an impact drill, much less know what a short radius, long radius, much less know how much lineal feet it takes to like line out pipe. They don't know what a pound of sheet metal is, you know, to outfit a 1,000 square foot commercial space. I mean, we need more programs like this. So as you build it, please, you know, email the podcast, and Jesse's gonna be talking about that as we're on our closeout because we need organizations that are trying to help train and put the labor force back on track because it is essential. I mean, we forget that you need the heart, you need the lungs, you need a blood flow, right? And within a building, you need framers, you need masonry, you need iron workers, you name it, electricians, plumbers, painters, framers, glazers, and that's just that. We're not even talking about chefs. We're not even talking about educators. We're not even talking. I mean, it is the society here in the United States. We're in a decline, and there's a lot of innovation. There really is. And AI, we talk about AI all day, and it's a great thing, right? I love it. I love what it can do for it. But what good is it gonna serve if there's nothing? If the infrastructure of our society is crumbling and there's no next generation to watch. I see this firsthand in my industry where I see 21, 22 year olds, God bless them, they're doing the best they can, they're trying to learn as fast as they can, but there's just such a huge gap in experience, and then not just that, the will to even be in a productive member of society is not there. I mean, how does that affect you in your region, Jesse? I mean, what do you see out there?
Yeah, I mean, I agree with a lot of what you just said for sure, right? And as far as out here, I mean, most everyone knows how to change a tire. I mean, you know, we live on dirt roads. There's not a lot of anything, bro. So I mean, you either know how to do it yourself, or You know, you have a family member. I mean, there's probably in my small town, there's probably 15 different construction companies. You know, everyone either has a family member that works for one of these companies or them themselves have worked there before, or they still currently do. Um, so, but I will say that I think that this is probably the last generation, you know, my age. My brother has a big construction company right here in town, and I'll say he's probably the last one, dude, because you see the kids on the phone and you know they're doing this and they can't figure out how to do that. Like I run into it with my daughter. Like she asks me crazy things all the time, and I'm just like, how do you not fucking know, bro? Like where are we living? You know, we're in two different worlds in the same house. Um, but but when I look at it from a little bit bigger of a view out, I think that one, AI is definitely here to stay, and it's about integrating into the needs that we have for it, rather than depending on it solely. And two, you know, we didn't really experience this. We started to, but we also know what it was like with no age of information. You know, we know what it's like before AOL and Netscape Navigator. I mean, I'm going back now, right? But we know what it's like without those. But this generation, you know, they
They
don't.
don't.
They've just been their whole life has been inundated with information here and you know all of these different apps. I mean nowadays all these different apps are all competing for the attention. That's the number one commodity in the world is your attention, and these companies are great at it. They're hacking your chemistry, they're hacking your nervous system from the second you wake up, you know, and so these kids don't have a chance when we look at it from the perspective of their mind fitting into that old world that we knew. It's just not here anymore, right? I don't think that the world we knew is even here enough for for these children to adapt to it. So I see it more as like trying to understand where we're going to the best. I mean, you know, 5 years ago, who would have thought of AI in the forms of how we currently use it and what's just right around the corner? Um, but but guiding the children into being able to integrate and navigate those systems rather than try to fight it. And I mean, don't get me wrong, around here, dude, there's a lot of people because it is a little bit slower of a pace. There are a lot of people that are freaked out. Like I talk to people that think AI is going to take over everything and it's going to be, you know, living inside of their microwave by next Tuesday. You know, so it's all over the place, and you kind of just got to go with the flow and see what happens, really.
Hey,
That,
you know what's crazy? I just got this thought. We for those that have been deployed out there, um, and we got sent out on missions, right? Our missions, when we wanted to go tap into getting some information, right? Or we're trying to, like, create a relationship between our unit, right, and the locals, nationals there. Who do they send us to go talk to, Jesse? Do you remember that? Like, it was always the elder, the town
Yeah,
elder.
yeah,
And I challenge all of us veterans out there, all of us two, us three, and everybody out there. We are gonna become those elders that are gonna have to teach the ones near us how to change a freaking tire,
yeah,
because it's
yeah.
it's crazy.
It really is, and it's almost dystopian, right, when you think about it. And the right, the other point that I forgot to mention a second ago is like I don't know what the long-term ramifications are of constant information, instant information in front of you anytime you want, right? Like how does that map the brain over long term? And I'm not talking long term like the 20 years that it's been available. I'm talking about like my grandkids. Like what, and my children are only 11 and 14 right now. So I'm talking about my grandkids and when they become adults, like what is that world that they're going to look into, and what is the compounding effect of instant information at your fingertips 24/7? You know, because it's not like we're going back. It's not like you can put this genie in the bottle. Like we're here.
yeah.
We've kicked the door in. Like we're headed in. It is what it is, and we'll see when the smoke clears, right?
That's an experience.
That's a tough question, man. That's a tough question, and we all have to really sit down and think about that because we are here. and it's not going anywhere. That's and the worst part about it is that, like Aldo just said, we're all gonna be those elders that they're coming to. But here's our biggest issue with that: a lot of us aren't doing what we're supposed to be doing. Back home in California, man, there's people just leaving their homes to go live home to be homeless because they just don't want to be responsible no more. They don't have that sense of purpose. Like I said, they lost their way completely. So who are they gonna be going to?
Yeah, certainly. I completely agree. And it goes right back to what I was saying with the children being inundated with all this information. Like, so are we, and imagine how hard it is for, I'll just talk about my own personal experience, but dude, if I turn on one of these social medias and the short form video gets me, that algorithm gets me, and before I know it, I've spent 10, 15 minutes just aimlessly scrolling, and it's quick. It's quick, right? Like they grab your attention. That algorithm knows everything about me. It knows what I'm likely to swipe on, what I'm likely to engage with, how long, generally it's going to keep me there, and then what to send me next. And that goes like into the fifth, sixth, and seventh step ahead. Like it's when you get on it, you get trapped, and
Yeah.
so it's on us to stay vigilant and to understand and remember where we came from in that sense of the digital age in order to be able to pass that information on. Otherwise, you end up with things like The Giver. Have you ever seen that movie or read the book?
No, I haven't
No.
personally. I'm gonna have to check
It's
it out.
I
yeah, well,
haven't.
it's a dystopian novel, and it's about basically everything is all gray, and the civilian population gets these shots that like dull all emotion, and you move through like a productive drone, and there's one person, the old elder, that remembers the old way, basically before the shot, before technology took over, before all of these dystopian things that we use as metaphors took over, and he can see in color. He understands the feel of flowers, the smells, like all of these different things that we take for granted as humans. And his job is to pass that on to, he's called the giver, and then to pass it on to the new giver. And he's like the holder of memory, right? Like all of these things that we used to be able to do, but just don't have that ability anymore because of the technology that's taken over.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, bro. Yeah.
I
That's
I
why I like to focus on how good those tacos look, man. Because if you get too deep in the weeds, fuck, there's no coming out.
Man, but you gotta try them, bro, because they look great. They
They
look great,
do.
but I'm gonna tell you right now, they taste a lot better.
Oh, I can only imagine. I bet.
Hey, Ariel, I got a question for you. I got a question. So,
Yes,
for
sir.
any veterans out there that are feeling stuck or unsure about their next step, what's one piece of advice you wish someone gave you when you were starting out that you can potentially, give give our audience here in our platform?
Man, okay. So I wrote my answer down to this one. Knew you were gonna ask me something like that, so I kind of wrote an answer down, and so if I could tell any veteran out there just one thing, it'd be this: you already have what it takes. You already have what it takes, and all you got to do is take that jump. You have the discipline, the grind, the ability to show up no matter what. Um, that's not normal for us. That's not normal for a lot of people, but for you it is, and that's your edge. But but what nobody really tells you is that you have the to unlearn some things too. You have to let go of a lot of your past, and you got to let go of that what is that, fight or flight mentality. You have to give yourself permission to start messy, to fail forward, and to build your own way, even if it doesn't look like what you're used to. When I started out, I was waiting for someone to give me a blueprint. I wish someone had just said, "Bro, the blueprint is you. You know exactly what you're doing. You know exactly what you want, and you know exactly how to get there. You've already survived the worst. You know, we've gone, dude. We've gone through hell and back way more than once, twice, three times. We've gone through this shit. We've been in those trenches, um, and even if it does look shaky, you're gonna get through it. Never doubt yourself. Don't doubt. Just know that. Just know that. Yeah, it might cross your mind and doubt yourself. Your might to doubt your ability, but that's what we got every one of us for. You got people to lean on. You got people to let you know that, hey, you know what? Sometimes it takes a team. Sometimes it takes a team, and accept that. Accept the fact that even though you fail, you're actually learning something new. So keep on pushing. Keep on pushing through.
Absolutely. Thanks for that, man. Thanks for that. Yeah, and we all need to be reminded about that, right? I think. Oh man, I can't remember where I was reading this, but ultimately, um, we're not alone. Especially being a veteran, being in the military community. I mean, you have. I couldn't tell you. I don't know if Jesse, if you know, but what's the number out there? But I mean, there's just the network, the community is just so large. And then today, as we were talking about, technology, right, with our phones, with social media, there's just so many ways to reach out. But one of the first things we need to do is understand that the hardest thing for a human to do is really ask for help. So, you know,
Absolutely.
when you really focus on that and understand that, you know what, there's nothing wrong with asking for help, and to Ariel's point, right, it takes a team, right? And we should know, being military veterans, regardless of what your individual experience was, at the end of the day you train to be within a team, right? So and then there's no one left behind. So stay on those core values and understand that, you know work through that. There's always going to be someone there that you can reach out to, that's going to put you back on deck, is going to put you back on alignment, is going to help you, even if it's just a conversation. You don't know what it can be, but it can lead to someone else. But you just need to be able to accept the fact that you need to be vulnerable, and then the fear is gone. The fear is gone. The second you accept to be vulnerable, the fear is gone, and you're gonna see how everything begins to cascade. Doors begin to open, because I mean, there's nothing else but success, right? And again, emotional stability, health, stability, physical stability. I mean, that's success, right? Outside of the monetary and financial, um, being well and being okay, and being able to be there for someone else. That's success. So we got to get out of our own heads. Uh, you know, Everybody out there, I've been there. We all been there. So again, that's the whole core message
Yeah.
of this. And I appreciate you sharing a lot about your experience. We got a little deep with you, Ariel. We got a little deep, man.
Yeah.
We did, but hey,
Yeah,
let's
yeah.
show everybody out there, that don't be stuck. Don't be stuck on, you know, your past. Don't be stuck on what you cannot do. You gotta just take that fucking leap of faith, right? Whatever faith you have, whatever your belief system is, you know, own it, and love yourself. Bet on yourself. Use the military background, that regardless, right? You can use it for good or bad. You can sit there and cry about all the experience, or you can utilize some of the tools that to your benefit, right? And Jesse can speak on this a lot more eloquently. But the point is, bet on yourself. Get after it. I mean, you lived through that shit.
Yeah.
You've been through that freaking experience. Think big. Don't think small. Don't shrink yourself. Fucking go for it. Go for it, because what's the worst that could happen? Things begin to develop in a positive way. I mean, let's fucking go. Let's go. We're here for one another. Full kit, no plan is here for you. Ariel APA Tacos, Jesse Lauren, and the wealth of community here that we're galvanizing is here for you as well. So, bet on yourself. There's gonna be a lot of people freaking there to support you, there to watch you win, and even the haters are your lovers. Let them in
Oh
too.
yeah. Oh yeah. Love those, bro. I love those. Make sure you guys love on them haters, because If they hating on you, you're doing something fucking right.
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely, man.
you know, one last thing before anything, I want everyone to know. Here's my number: 747-237-9976. Call me. Whatever you need. You need to just talk to somebody. That's me. Give me a give me a call. I got you.
Yeah, what's your Instagram handle?
It's APA Tacos. I'm sorry. It's APA Tacos underscore Estrella. Right there. It's right there on the screen. Check it out. Hit me up. Again, you want to you just need to talk. You just need a fucking whatever it is. You need some tacos. Call me. I got you.
If you're interested in what Ariel is trying to build with his organization, he's calling forward, and you want to collaborate, you want to meet up, you're interested in finding out more, reach out to him. You just shot his number. You know where to get a hold of him. So again,
Yes, sir.
whether that's support or you're looking to build on your business and you're looking to franchise or grow it, that's someone you want to talk to. So what's up, Jesse? What you got for us today? Any news out there? Anything new?
Bro, no, I don't. Honestly, I've been running so ragged right now, I haven't even been paying attention to the news, which is probably a good thing. A little detox every now and then isn't too bad.
I gotta say though, before we kicked off this podcast today, we kind of had a little chit chat, Jesse and I was saying, how much I appreciate that he brought up current events a few episodes back, because it made me come out of my shell again. I was in hermit mode for years. I have to admit, for years I didn't want to hear the radio. I didn't want to pick up I don't know, is there still newspapers? I didn't go on fucking line. I didn't watch TV. I still, but I was like, man, he started putting me on game, and I'm like, shit. As I'm building my business, maybe I should know what's going on with current events, right? And hey, Trump, love him or hate him, regardless of how you feel about him, there's opportunity. There's opportunity. There's opportunity. I was reading an article today about the yen. And if you don't know, yen, the dollar, coin out there in China, it took a massive dump with this trade war, this tariff war that was going on. And while it may not be 100% this negotiation that happened yesterday, it's not set in stone. It's not completely dry. It's I think it's on a 90-day trial. It still lets you know that, hey, that impact, that business decision that he made really is benefiting the United States. And again, love him or hate him, whatever you think about him, but the yen took a dump. Why? Because they rely on our dollar for what they do. So their economy, their commerce is taking a huge impact, and you just got to figure out how to take advantage of that, right? Whatever business you're in, whatever business you're trying to get in, you don't have to be a brick and mortar. Figure out there's so many ways to get out there and try to do something with your time, your spare time. Hey, if you're not hungry, there's 24 hours a day, and you really only truly need 6 hours to sleep. So, that leaves you with a hell of a lot of time. That's 18 hours. Break that down. Time management. Break that down. You'd be surprised what you can do when you are intentional with every minute. So, hey, it's the time. There's going to be a lot of opportunities. Get in there. And again, I just want to give a huge shout out to Jesse for opening up my mind again and getting me out of hermit mode, because I start moving. I'm into crypto now. Just recently, like big time, I started trading again, and it was just that quick conversation. So you never know when you open yourself up where it could take you, guys.
Yeah.
That's right. That's right. You miss 100% of the shots you don't take, right?
Hey,
Exactly.
Yeah, something like that. Absolutely, man.
Oh man, any closing statements before we roll out, Ariel?
Just once again, the bigger the dream, the bigger the success, bro. Don't give up. Keep on pushing through. You got my number, you got my handle. Hit me up if you want tacos or you want to talk.
I
That's what's
appreciate
up.
you jumping on board, Jesse.
That's right, man. Just to touch on that again, if your dreams aren't scaring the shit out of you, bro, you're at the wrong table. It's time to get up and move on.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we don't got time to cry and boo-hoo here.
Yep.
This is
Yep.
full
Bigger,
kit.
better things.
No plan, but we're kitted up. We're gonna make shit happen all day, every day. You know, we don't get stuck on rewind. No, it's all forward, right? So I appreciate you guys. Hey, you guys, catch me on aldo.ocampo.official Instagram or visit my website at aopathway.com. If you're looking for business advice, consultation, that's what I do. You need some coaching, mental alignment, personal development, professional uh, um, development as well. I'm here to help you out. I'm your business growth coach. Holler if you hear me.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah, my man. And you know me, I'm Jesse. You can hit me up at Jesse underscore Loring, Instagram, Jesse Loring, everywhere else. Um, if you need to reach out to me, reach out to Aldo, anything. You can also, let's see, you can also email the show anytime you need to, anything you uh, want to talk about. Just hit that up anytime. That's pretty much it for me, my man.
If you guys
Oh,
got
don't
any
forget to hit our
ideas out
YouTube
there,
show.
yes.
Yeah, don't forget to check out YouTube at Full Kit No Plan. New episodes every Friday around noontime Eastern Time.
And call out here. Any veteran out there that wants to get on board, wants to share their story, want to have a platform, hit the like and subscribe button. Follow us. Follow up with an email. Our producer here, Jesse, will follow up, or myself, and we'll book you to get you on board so you can share your story, share about your business, and get you connected. So, appreciate you guys.
Hell yeah. Ariel, it was an absolute pleasure, my man. I really appreciate it. Thank you for sharing your story, man. Keep fucking going, bro. I can't wait to see where it goes.